Hello everyone, this is Diane and I'm here to show you a very special teddy bear journal that will be in my shop when this video goes up. I made several teddy bear journals. I love teddy bears. I used to collect figures and I used to make teddy bears. I don't collect them anymore and I don't make them anymore, but I still like them. So I made some teddy bear journals using Mrs. Cog's images plus some other images that I found on Pinterest and pages out of quite a few different children's books. Now this is made with a golden book called Bialosky's Special Picnic, and this was one of my daughter's very favorite stories. This isn't her own book. I think she has her own book from when she was a child. So I found this somewhere. Oh, sorry. I need to say that the entire story is not in here because I did these books pretty much simultaneously. Oh goodness, people going up Main Street making so much noise. And I put some of these pages in this book and some of these pages in this book in the first signature. So I apologize for that. So the entire story isn't here. But that just means you've got images from one more storybook in here. It is full of stuff. I did a lot of decorating in this book, and it has a 3-inch spine because I didn't want it to have an alligator mouth. And it's got pretty buttons on the spine, a fabric spine, and some gimp trim. There's Tyvek and chipboard in here, making it a nice sturdy spine. And there were some spots here where stickers had been on and peeled off and peeled the paper off, and there was a barcode here. So I covered these things up with some vintage lace and fabrics and a little bit of rickrack. There's a little rickrack right here too. So the front of the signatures, if you saw the Three Bears journal, this one is very, very similar. So I'm just going to go through it quickly. If you really need more details, you can watch the previous video. So the signatures of each book are covered with cardstock craft that's printed, and each one has vintage lace on it and an image from Mrs. Cog's and a collage with vintage book page and some lace. So again, it's still, each signature also has one of these coffee dyed tags with a vellum pocket. And there are 3 of the Denison vintage gummed seals, 1 in each signature, I believe. There's a guest check. You'll see Mrs. Cog's images all through the book. There's Bialosky stretching. This is a stamped image. It says a few of my favorite things, and there's a teddy bear there. I used some vintage appliques. There's a little collage there. And there's a piece of stationery with some bears. I believe they're Mary's bears from Hallmark, having tea. Washi tape there. This is some sheet music, Dance of the Teddy Bears. That's from Pinterest. Becky made this for me and sent it in a Happy Mail. She colored it. I just inked around the edges and added the stuff at the top. And I did some stamping on handmade papers. So here we have the Three Bears stories, or pages. There's another of the stickers, so there's 2 in this signature. This is from a different Three Bears storybook. So there are quite a few different storybook pages in here. There's a fabric flip, and there's a little notepad featuring Winnie the Pooh's honey pots and a few little bees. You can write on that. I made a little pocket here, and there's a stamped bear playing the piano and a Mrs. Cog's image of some bears. Looks like they're in a bowl in the ocean or the lake. Handmade paper here with a little stamped bear. Coffee dyed paper here. Mrs. Cog's image. There's some stamped paw prints going up there. This little stamped bear is wearing a knit sweater and he's reading a book. can see the stenciling and a little bit of stamping on that page. Love this little bear from Ooh La La Crafts. I will link her shop below, but I don't believe she has these anymore, but she has a lot of other really great fabric strips and other things. This is from a vintage library book. It's actually stamped 1943, and the last stamp is 81, so it didn't get a lot of use between all those years. A vintage library pocket, and I covered it with paper. I left this plain because you could write there. And the name of the book is Bears Are Sleeping. That was perfect. This is a library card from The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. It should say The Bear, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. You can write on the back of that. There's a piece of vintage crochet doily there. Some fuzzy bears from another Three Bears book, Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It's called Goldilocks and the Three Fuzzy Bears, and they are fuzzy. Looks like she's telling them a story. This is from a Richard Scarry book, Little Bear, I think it's called. And this is from Current Stationery, and it's just a little fold-a note card with these bears eating honey. Aren't they cute? This one has a piece of patchwork fabric, some vintage fabric, and some vintage lace. These are images from, this is from the Three Fuzzy Bears, and I'm not sure what book that one came from. Maybe it was from the same book. But I cut them out and then glued them to some ivory cardstock. You can write on the back of them. Another honey pot picture and some vintage lace. This one I have to put a card in, but this is one of the Fuzzy Bear illustrations. I fussy cut all around and glued it to some vellum, and then the vellum is a pocket, so I will put something in there. This one has a pocket that Alette brought me from the Netherlands. Teddy bear paper doll. And inside is an alterations tag that's been collaged. And then the last signature. Vintage lace. I love this. This bear says hello. A little Victorian bear sitting on a hat box. Scrap piece of paper to journal on. Just did a collage here. You can write on that paper. This is the fabric that has the three bears depicted on it. So there's Goldilocks, and there's the house, and there's one of the bears. There's another of the little vintage stickers. Yeah, this is from the Fuzzy Bears book, so that little Goldilocks did come from this book. And there they are. They're still fuzzy, even though they're little in that picture. A fabric flip. This is a stamped image. Vintage doily. Just some coffee dyed paper. I'll probably put another card in there too. I printed some more. They should be on my printer upstairs. These were really fun to make. There's another of Becky's tags. I love this quote. There's a rip and a tear in my teddy bear. Love pours from him everywhere. I'm sorry. And there's the little teddy bear with rips and tears. This I found on Pinterest. I fussy cut him out. I put some mulberry paper down on the sack and then put him on top of that. And there's an inventory tag inside. And again, on the back pocket, there's a pocket made out of, or the back cover, there's a pocket made out of craft cardstock and this children's cutout paper parties page that you can write on. So this book is available in my shop, and I'll be back to show you the book that I made for myself. Bye.